All right guys, what is going on? It is Wednesday morning, January 27th. We just popped off the bike here, had a 50-minute endurance ride indoors today. In this video, I'm gonna take you guys through kind of my post-workout nutrition routine, pre and post-workout nutrition routine. Obviously, when you're training hybrid style, so you're doing a lot of endurance and you still wanna lift and maintain strength and size, nutrition is everything. And fueling properly is everything, and often done incorrectly by people because they're frankly afraid to eat as much as you need to do both. So anyway, as you can see, I am post-workout and I'm about to take you guys in my kitchen through what I'm going to consume. This is a day where I have a strength training session later, so I have to make sure my body is ready to go same day for another intense workout. Guys, what is going on? So we are in my kitchen post-bike ride. This bike was a 50-minute bike ride. Moderate intensity, definitely a good workout, but nothing crazy. And before the bike, it's first thing in the morning, so all I had was a GU. A GU is 100 calories of just sugar, and the intention there was to get some carbs in my body before I worked out. I have noticed on this Ironman prep, training fasted is the worst thing you can do. You may be able to get through the workouts, especially if they're kind of on the lighter end like today, but after and in your recovery, you'll notice it a day or 2 days later. And that's when, it's really interesting to me why it's important to keep up with your fueling, because it is something that comes back to bite you down the road. So on a workout like today, which was, like I said, moderate, I aimed for a 3-to-1 carb to protein ratio post-workout nutrition. So in here, we have 30 grams of carbs. This comes from a electrolyte source, that has 20 grams of carbs and 350 milligrams of sodium. So I put a scoop and a third in to get to 30 grams of carbs, and it's probably more like 25, but basically that is very fast digesting carbs. It's just like this, it's sugar basically, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna spike and replenish my sodium that I lost and electrolytes during the bike, and it's also going to replace the muscle glycogen that I lost very quickly. Now, that is 30 grams of carbs, 0 grams of protein. So I still need to get about 60 grams of carbs because I'm aiming for 30 grams of protein. So 90 to 30, 3-to-1 carb protein. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make protein oats. All right guys, so in this clip, I'm gonna take you through how I make my protes. And you'll see I simply add the oats to a bowl, and I put the water in the bowl. I usually level the water up to where it's just surpassing the oats, and then I pop it in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. And then when I pop it out of the microwave, that's when I'll put the protein in. I'll put the cinnamon in if I choose to add cinnamon and whatever else I'm gonna add, and I stir it up. Then I'll throw a little almond milk on top so that it's pretty liquidy. I could basically hit the spoon on top and I'll see a little tiny splash. Consistency is everything. Then I'll pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then it's gonna pop out perfectly. And when I say perfectly, it's pretty hard, so you can spread the peanut butter out very flat. If I wanted it runny, usually I wouldn't add peanut butter on top because I like the peanut butter to be flat. Little fin is out. All right guys, so here is the final product. As you saw, I salt it very heavily. Now, after endurance sessions, you do lose tons of electrolytes and sweat. Ever since I started going crazy on the salt after and before, and using like electrolyte drinks during the bike rides, and I'm not talking about the BPN carb drink I had, I'm talking about also tabs that don't have calories, just electrolytes instead of plain water. I have seen incredible improvements in recovery, in mood throughout the day, and in general energy throughout the day. It is mind-blowing how much it's made a difference. So sodium, guys, and electrolytes, major key. Also, you'll notice I used a food scale. I only use a food scale to make sure my portions are controlled and that I'm getting as much as I want to get of, carbs, proteins, fats, and really to keep my fats low with the peanut butter. And for specific meals, sometimes I like higher fat, but the only macro I track throughout the day is fat. I try to keep my fats under 90 grams, between 80 and 90 grams, never below 75 grams. I found that's like a sweet spot for me. Fats are very important, guys. They're the precursor to hormones. They do a lot of incredible things in the body for recovery. I just noticed that when I have too many fats, I start to feel sluggish and in between training sessions and like a little heavier during training sessions. Everyone's different. This is an observation I just made. I've also noticed that if I go below 75 grams of fat, I lose a lot of energy. So like I said, it is a sweet spot. It's constant experimentation with yourself, guys. You'll find what works best for you. On off days, when I don't have training, Mondays for me, I have 150 grams of fat during the day because I want to get those fats up because I know they're so important for your body and they like them, and I lower the carbs those days. So we are back in the kitchen and I am whipping up my pre-workout meal. So I want to show you guys kind of what I'm going to eat before a strength training session with a little bit of the details behind it. We are hitting the gym in about an hour and a half. So I'm going to aim for around 70 grams of carbs in this meal and like 25-ish grams of protein with minimal fat. And I want these carbs to digest quickly, so I'm feeling light in the gym, but I have the glycogen in my muscles, so I have the energy. And this is a delicious meal. So I'm gonna pop this English muffin in the toaster, and I am going to put these Cocoa Crisps in a bowl. And so 1 cup is 40 grams. That's gonna give me 35 grams of carbs. About 1 cup there. Got my shaker lid. Now we're gonna go a scoop of chocolate peanut butter protein in there. Going to add some salt. And we're gonna add some sugar-free Hershey's chocolate syrup. There's about 5 calories a serving there, so I probably put in 2 servings. And we are going to shake this up. Voila. Alright guys, so on this English muffin we have a little bit of butter, about 6 grams, so that's only like 6 grams of fat. I also have a sugar-free Gatorade. I lightly salted the English muffin on butter. Sorry, I just bounced around a lot there. But basically, we're keeping the fats low again, under 8 grams for this meal. Protein is around 25 to 30 grams, and then carbs, 70 grams. Most of the carbs are sugary, quick digesting carbs. Hydrating is very key. Like I said, you want to have a lot of salt with your meals for the electrolyte balance. Sodium is huge with performance, guys. It's one of the most misunderstood things in fitness. And the reason being is a lot of times people are good with hydrating, like they drink enough water and enough fluids, but the problem is they drink so much of that and their salt is so low that they end up just peeing out all the electrolytes they have. When you salt your stuff, your body does a better job at retaining those electrolytes, so you're actually way more hydrated because the salt is helping your body soak up those electrolytes. So that is an interesting thing that's often a misconception. You guys, I guarantee you'll see a big difference in performance when you do salt your food. All right guys, what is up? So just got back from the gym, got the air fryer preheated, and we are going to put these sliced potatoes in the air fryer. This is 60 grams of carbs. And that's that. And we are going to have chicken with that. I'll show you that meal when it's done. But before I do that, I still want to get some quick carbs and protein down. So we have some maple syrup, 40 grams. I'm a mess. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put almond milk in here. We're going to put this maple syrup in here. Maple syrup, guys, is just basically organic sugar. It's really fast digesting carbs. It's really good for you. And I'm gonna put cookies and cream protein, scoop that in there. And then we are going to put chocolate syrup. Sugar-free chocolate syrup, which I highly recommend you getting. So this may seem like a little bit of a weird combo to some. Actually tastes really good. It's just to hold me down till dinner's ready. I have chicken pre-cooked. It's gonna be about 40 grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein in this shake. Barely any fat. Ooh, I'm gonna add a little salt too. Salt brings out the flavor and everything, guys. If you didn't notice, I also mentioned how good it is for replenishing electrolytes. Now, dinner is going to be around 50 grams of protein and 60 grams of carbs. So I mentioned aiming for a 3-to-1 carb to protein ratio. At night, you can up the protein a little more. I mentioned protein sometimes takes longer to digest, so you really want to replenish that fast. It's about 7 o'clock now. My next workout is until 11 tomorrow. It's a swim. And I only have one workout tomorrow, so I'm okay with this taking a little longer to digest, and plus this maple syrup is gonna go down quick. It's also whey protein, which digests quick. And then, like I said, dinner, 60 grams of carbs, so that's 90 grams of carb total with this. And then, honestly, I'll probably have like an English muffin with dinner as well. So guys, really just what I wanna put away from this video is if you're training at a high intense level, do not be afraid to eat carbohydrates, okay? You need them to fuel your workouts. Guys, you need to eat appropriately before and after your workouts. Before is just as critical for recovery as after. Eating before my lift tonight is vital for my swim tomorrow, eating properly. If I were to go into my lift today without proper carbs and I was depleted and I pushed through that, that's gonna fry my central nervous system. That's gonna release a lot of stress hormones. That's gonna fry me for tomorrow. Therefore, my performance tomorrow is not gonna be as high. Therefore, I'm not going to improve because I'm not going to have any progressive overload, right? I can't perform at a high enough level to create new stimulus for my body to adapt to. And that becomes a cycle. That's why people who don't eat enough and their goals are performance, they tend to suck. Alrighty, so here is dinner. Promised I would show you guys. Look at that. Look at these. I'm telling you guys, an air fryer will save your life. It is the best thing ever. Literally, you just slice up potatoes, healthy as hell, and voila, you have french fries. Add a little olive oil spray, some salt, money. On the chicken and peppers, we got hummus. I love hummus. As I mentioned, if I had another workout, I wouldn't have too much fat, but I have a night to let it soak up in me, so it's cool to add a little fat to this. And then my last meal before bed, I know this isn't a full day of eating, but that's when I'll catch up on the fats. I usually have like toast with peanut butter or something with peanut butter. So yeah, hope I gave you guys some insights on kind of how I fuel up pre and post workout. Carbs, really, name of the game. And I guess a point I will touch on is when I first started my, journey in the endurance space or the performance, like trying to improve performance and just become a nastier athlete, I sort of still had the mindset of like calorie restriction and watching carbs and stuff like that. I'm telling you right now, you have to drop that completely if you're gonna try to get better at performing. And it is just gonna hold you back. You're not eating enough. You're in the wrong game if you're trying to sort of watch your calories and get super shredded while performing at a high level. It's detrimental to you. Mentally, you're gonna feel like ass. You may be able to hold on to sort of increasing performance for a little bit at the beginning and think it's okay. You may get by, but then it's not gonna last and you'll have kind of adverse reverse effects, and it could be really detrimental to your metabolism long-term and your performance long-term. So for me, getting rid of that stigma in my head really made a huge difference. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram at FinnsFitLife, you'll see my progress, and literally the rate at which I improved my speed on swim, my endurance, my minute per mile pace on long runs, going from like 10 minutes to freaking sub 8 on 10-mile runs. It's because of my nutrition, 100%. Obviously great programming, but I always had great programming, and what happened was I was able to perform in that great programming, so it actually worked. Before I was just going through the motions, which, not to throw shade at, lifting just to look good, but you can get by with just going through the motions and you'll lose fat and put on muscle, honestly. Not as much as you would if you knew what you were doing, but you cannot get by in performance sports by not giving your body appropriate fuel. So that's a little rant on that as I'm about to dig in and share one more thing on this topic. So initially, if you up your carbs, you will see a little bit of weight gain. My personal story was like, I did it, I knew I had to do it and get out of that fixed mindset sort of from bodybuilding, because sometimes with bodybuilding I was eating 75 grams of carbs a day at my lowest points to try to get super shredded, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your goal, but I'm just talking about my experience, and your body remembers that shit and gets used to it. So when it saw those carbs, it was like, dude, I'm putting these away like for the next time you're in a famine or you're starving, whatever. So it's going to do its thing and do that. And I would say for anyone really, expect a little, like, you're not going to see those body composition results right away. You'll see an immediate increase in performance and energy. But for me, I put on about 7 to 10 pounds over 45 to 60 days. And then still upping my food after those 60 days, remaining to what I upped it at or upping it even more. All of a sudden, it was like overnight, I lost that weight and I looked the same. And really, it just looked like water weight. Like, I looked way tighter, as they call it in the fitness bodybuilding community. My abs, my bottom abs were, again, very visible. And then I just started getting more and more shredded, like, every day, and even eating more and more carbs. Like, and that's not like I track macros or anything like that. It's just, when I have intense training sessions, usually it's 50 to 75 grams of carbs during those sessions. And like you guys saw today, a lot before and after. And I just continue to get shredded. And there's a lot of science behind the hormones, like behind it, because my body, it's not gonna store carbs and put them away, it's gonna use them. It's like a furnace. Basically, when you train for endurance and you train at such a high level, your body becomes like much more efficient and like an engine. So what you put down, it's going to use, although the laws of thermodynamics will never change, guys. If you eat more calories than you burn, you will get fat. But when you're performing at this high of a level and you're eating clean foods and you know what you're doing, it's almost impossible to eat more than you burn. And that's why you stay so lean. And so just figured I'd share that. If you switch your diet, if you were like me and you did bodybuilding, at first your body will put those away. It'll look a little watery. Like I said, you'll feel an immediate increase in energy and your performance will go up right away, but it'll take about a month to a month and a half, maybe even 2 months for your body to realize, like, hey, this is consistent fuel we're gonna get, let's use this. Like, we don't need to store this for the next famine or for the next time this asshole is gonna starve me. Let's put them to work, and then whoosh, that's what they call it, the whoosh effect. Your body just lets go. Your hormones, guys, dudes, I don't want to get too into it, but good stuff happens, and you're going to be rocking and rolling, eating food and going at it. And like I said, I will end this video with this one very, very important message. If your goals are like mine and you're training for triathlon, marathon, Spartan, even CrossFit, guys, anything that's you need to compete and you're burning, you have to eat, okay? You have to eat. That's it. I'm out. The hair is looking dumb sexy. Jesus. Follow me on Instagram, FinnsFitLife, and subscribe to my channel. I know I had protein shake all over my nose this whole video. That's why you should subscribe. Catch you later.